When adopted in 1841, there wasn't the widespread use of what we call the rifle musket today. No, the 1841, as made particularly by Harper's Ferry and others, was a rifleman's rifle.
In the lead up to the Mexican-American War, the U.S. military is actually undergoing something of a transition. The standard long arm for the U.S. Army up until the 1840s was the flintlock musket. But the U.S. actually adopts its last official pattern flintlock musket in the Model 1840, and almost immediately moves to percussion priming. And so the long arms are smoothbore 69 caliber arms that by 1842, with the adoption of the Model 42, are smoothbore long arms. But right in that period, as they're transitioning, there emerges what is just a beautiful, beautiful arm. It's one of the, in my opinion, the best looking small arms of the 19th century, and that's the Model 1841 rifle. Nobody really calls it the Model 1841 rifle because everybody calls it the Mississippi.
This is a rifle. This is not intended for guys to stand in the line of battle. This is for skirmishing and long range work. And you know, a true rifle is when you drive your projectile down, you've got to engrave the rifling. You've got to get it seated, typically with a patch, so that when the powder charge goes off, that ball is going to grab the rifling, and that's going to give you accuracy.
Model 1841, 54 caliber, single shot muzzle loading rifle. It's gorgeous, has a brown barrel, beautiful walnut stock, brass barrel bands, beautiful brass patch box that also has a spare nipple in it and tools and so forth for using it. This came out as a replacement for the American model of 1817 rifle.
It was originally designed to fire 54 caliber ball, and later the guns were augered out, re-rifled to 58 so it could handle the Burton mini ball that came along in the 1850s. The gun is two-banded, so it's a little short, and that shortness is affected when you are using two lines of men to shoot in infantry, and that's because when you have two ranks, as was popular with what they called linear tactics of the 19th century, you need to get the muzzle of the rear rank's guns over past the face of the guys in the front rank. And so the Mississippi was not a gun that saw standard infantry, service just for that reason.
Mississippi rifles fought admirably at Monterey and Buena Vista. And notably at Buena Vista is when they used their rifles to stop a Mexican cavalry charge. And so it's an arm that they use so effectively throughout the war that the rifle becomes intimately tethered with the Mississippi Volunteers. And coming out of the Mexican-American War, that's when these guns become unofficially but widely known as Mississippi rifles. They don't make a ton of Mississippi rifles as compared to some of the smoothbore muskets of the era. Ultimately, only about 75,000 Mississippis are made before the Model 1855 supplants it.
The 1841 was manufactured by a number of different contractors as well as Harper's Ferry. There was Robbins and Lawrence, there was Tryon, there was Palmetto. Matter of fact, the Palmetto guns made in South Carolina are extremely rare. Unlike most of the 1841 Mississippis you see made by other manufacturers that have American Eagle on it, the Palmetto guns actually have a little palmetto tree on the lock plate, very, very distinctive.